Welcome, welcome to another episode of Road to Recovery with your host, Recovery Lloyd. Okay, you see the little alligator joint. So today being April 1st, April Fools, and with the dealing with the disease of addiction, some of us fools 365 days out the year, not just today. So one thing I want to talk about today is something that some people are familiar with and some aren't, and that is the 12 steps. The 12 steps. And the reason why I want to go over the 12 steps is because I'm going to read the top of this before we get into it. Millions of people who decide to make changes to their substance use have been helped by living according to the principles of a 12-step program. Below are the 12 steps. In this journal, you will learn more about the 12 steps and try them on. So, how I was taught, you got 12 steps, 12 months in the calendar, 12 disciples. It's a lot of things in life that revolve around the number 12, but in reality, you make it the 13th. It was 12 disciples, but Jesus made them the 13th. And that 13 is a transformation number. It's when you turn from a child to an adolescent and to a teenager. In a lot of cultures, once you turn 13, you enter your adulthood when they have your bar mitzvah. So the 12 steps, and in these 12 steps, it's only one that has to be done perfect. From all the 12 steps, it's only one that has to be done perfect, and that is the first step. So the first step is we admitted we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. So the first step is you admitting that you even have a problem. Do you know it's people who've been drinking for years and getting high for years and absolutely don't see nothing wrong with that? They see nothing wrong in them medicating themselves every day to put up with this person's BS and to put up with that person's attitude and this, that, and the third. So the first step is admitting not only that you have a problem, but that your life has become unmanageable because of that problem. The second step is we come to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So the second step is trying to incorporate a higher power, having faith. And not only that, what the second step suggests is you stop living on your will and try to get your wants, your needs, your desires to match the will of your Heavenly Father, of your Creator, of what you think that being wants from you, expects from you, wants you to do. And if you've been down in the dumps, messing up, and back to back, you need to get some wins under your belt. You need to get some wins under your belt. So that's when they say, volunteer, share the message, one addict helping another. It's because you want to be of service, because it's something about being of service that makes a person feel good. Because manipulating, stealing, playing games with people, all that in the moment, you don't feel that. Especially if your addiction is calling and you feel like whenever it say jump, you just say how high. You can't put no fight up to it. So you need to start getting more W's in the column, whether even if they lowercase, get them. Sometimes people don't even want to celebrate wins unless it's a big win. Or I'm about to get a car. Or I'm going to college. You guys celebrate the little wins too. And the reason you have to do that is because big wins don't come on a regular basis. So if you waiting just for big wins to celebrate, you might be waiting for a minute. But if you can celebrate small successes and small wins, then you could find a way to celebrate those every day. Number 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of a God as we understood him. That is having belief and faith that some of this stuff is going to work for you. Not just it might work for you. That is when you start to have expectations, not on your higher power, but yourself too. You start saying, hey, I'm going to try. I'm going to give this my best effort, because you'll never know how strong you are if you don't ever give it your best effort. If you listen to what somebody was telling me the other day about something where applied defeat, where we acknowledge and accept defeat without even trying, based off of information we get from other people. You know, they have a science experiment where they put fleas in a jar and they seal the top. And for the first day, the fleas jump up and they hit the top of the jar. And after that first day, they stop. Not only do they stop, but when they have more babies, the mothers teach the kids to not jump. It's a trained and agreed upon victimhood. And that's the science behind the projects. Because, you know, we just be saying we live in a project, so not in the projects. They just the jacks. Well, that's the science behind those projects. Number 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So number 4 is when you do an inventory. And when they talk about fearless, that is you looking at the good, bad, and the ugly. Why is that important? Because a lot, and the good, bad, and the ugly, the me, myself, and the I. And the reason you want to do that is because a lot of times people in addiction will make excuses. Yeah, you know, I get high, but I keep a clean house. That's what you're supposed to be doing. If you in the house, yeah, I get high, but I make sure I cook dinner every day or whatever the case may be, trying to minimize it. And you want to look at the good too. I mean, the bad. You want to acknowledge the bad. Some people don't acknowledge the bad. Some people, that's all they do is acknowledge the bad. You want to do all of this. Your inventory is all of that. Number 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So once you do this inventory, you are supposed to share the results of this inventory with somebody. My suggestion would be you share it with a sponsor, because it's too many times we try to make people who never had a drug problem, never been an alcoholic. We try to borrow money from them. They are a babysitter. They are a ride here and there. And on top of that, they are a counselor. And that's putting all your eggs in one basket. You want to share this information about your inventory, hopefully with somebody who has a substance use disorder background, to where they're not just going to judge you. That's another reason you may not want to tell family this, because you start telling them some stuff, then they didn't know your addiction was that bad. They are going to judge you. They are listening. Not only that, if it's real spicy, they can call another family member and tell them, boy, you know, so-and-so, I know she was selling ass. And the only thing that's going to do is make the person who did share and open up with you regret doing that. Might make them want to get high even faster afterwards. So you want to be selective with who you share this inventory with. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these character defects. And that's number 6. Number 6, you don't just ask God to remove them. You have to start doing the work of acknowledging them and addressing them. So when you find yourself trying to finesse, sometimes you got to catch yourself and be like, no, never mind. No. I mean, I know somebody who the minute they told a lie, they would admit, you know what? Nah, I really don't need that $10. I don't, such and such. And sometimes coming back and doubling back and admitting something right after they tried to finesse, maybe that was a little embarrassing, but it was enough to get them to get it right the first time instead of having to come back and apologize. Number 7, we humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. This is when they suggest that you pray. And I know people who read a lot of books and, there's nobody up there anyway. You're only praying to yourself, and religion trying to use your own kundalini against you so that you could this and you. And I hear all that. But when that's out the window? When you in a hospital and you really need to have hope that this surgery is going to work, that these doctors' hands are guided by a higher power. Your higher power is not done with you and is going to restore you. So, or, when something going on with somebody you care about, when it's somebody you care about, you're not just bringing the emerald tablets to their hospital room. You holding hands and you closing your eyes. And I mean, even if you praying to some of your ancestors, whatever the case may be, you're praying to something and somebody. And prayer does work. Like Killer Mike said, it heals hurt. It can heal some hurt. Not all. Some lighten your load a little bit. Absolutely. Yes. Number 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. And number 8, when you make that list of people that you harmed or people that you allowed your addiction to harm, please make sure you put yourself on that list as well, because you harmed yourself. You degraded yourself, disrespected yourself. But I'm sure somebody else, don't just say yourself and then that's the end of the list. It is somebody else on that list that you owe an apology to, I am sure. And nothing says I apologize more than change behavior. Because when you apologize for something and do the same thing tomorrow or next weekend, then how much of an apology really was that? Number 10. Or did I skip one? Number 9. We made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So you want to make a direct amends unless in doing that you got to disrespect somebody to do it. Because sometimes we have in our minds, I'm going to apologize, I'm going to give them a hug, we going to cry, then we going to watch, some TV, or we're going to play PS5. And when it don't go that way, then we want to take the apology back. So it says, make a direct amends whenever possible, but don't do it at the sake of hurting someone's feelings. Because, especially when it's our kids. Look, I said I'm sorry. I'm your father. I was going through my trials and tribulations. You know how many times I heard that? Them trials and tribulations. Number 10, we continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admit it. You continue. Your inventory is not just something you do one time. You do it more than once, because to be honest, if it's going to take more than one sometime, because sometimes people not 100% on, they try to gloss over some things. They still blaming people and certain things, certain situations on somebody else. They still have not and will not and refuse to admit the part that they play in something. That's the only thing we control, is the part we play in stuff. We can't control what somebody else chooses to do and not do. Number 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. You see why having faith, belief, hope means something. Because if you don't, then it doesn't matter if Sigmund Freud is putting your treatment plan together. It might be falling on deaf ears. You got to have faith, hope, and courage that some of this stuff is going to work and will work in your favor and in your behalf. And because nobody goes into something already expecting defeats. Who goes into a fight, into a bet? Yeah, I'm about to get spanked. I'm about to get whooped. I hope that's not how we thinking now. Because that's a real, that's not just Diary of a Wimpy Kid. If that is that's the mantra now, then that would explain why some people are too scared to even try, because they're more afraid of failing than succeeding. Or maybe they also afraid of succeeding. If they do too good, they might have to move out. And they want to stay at home till they're in their 30s. Number 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to other suffering addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. The 12th step basically is to continue repeating 1 through 11. So whenever you hear a person saying, yeah, I went to that program, yeah, I did the 12 steps, and they made it seem like it's something they did a year or two ago and, the end. No, it's a continuing process. So if you did the 12 steps 2 and 3 years ago, if you're doing them correctly, you should still be doing them. This is how you order your steps. Ordain them. These are the 12 steps. It's other breakdowns. If you're not familiar with the 12 steps, I encourage you to do some of your own research on the subject, because today was a long day for me and I don't have the antics and the flair that I have every day. So I'm going to go with, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. I love you guys. Keep getting stronger. Keep getting better. It's spring. So spring forward into the next and best chapter of your life. Because this is your life we talking about. And I hope and pray you're the main character. So until then, keep your head up. Things will get brighter. And I will see you on the next episode. La da 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 da.